Morning has broken, my windows are open. Wanna feel the wind go through my hair. Which way do I follow? What happens tomorrow? I turn to you and hope you can guide the way. Sometimes I give up, just wanna be on my own. Even in the darkest times, you give me hope. So I lean on you when I've lost my way. I keep holding on for a better day. I lean on you when the world's astray. I left my heart open so you hear my prayer. I left my heart open so you hear my prayer. In times that are changing and when hope is fading, I know I can turn to your embrace. 'Cause there's so much beauty under your heaven, and I'm grateful every day. Sometimes I give up, just wanna be on my own. Even in the darkest times, you give me hope. So I lean on you when I've lost my way. I keep holding on for a better day. I lean on you when the world's astray. I left my heart open so you hear my prayer. I left my heart open so you hear my prayer. I lean on you when I've lost my way. I keep holding on for a better day. I lean on you when the world's astray. I left my heart open so you hear my prayer. I left my heart open so you hear my
Hey everyone, how y'all doing? You know I'm not going to keep this camera on long. I'm not going to do it because I get distracted. Hey Allie, hey Green Eye Girl. Tonight's stream again is going to be a little bit different. Things keep going like this, might just turn me into a reaction channel. If you can hear me, because sometimes my microphone acts crazy, put a 1 in chat. Let me know if y'all can hear me okay. Make sure I don't sound like I'm in a dungeon somewhere. Okay, give me just 1 second. I gotta go check on this baby. Give me just 1 second. Okay, I do apologize about that, you all. I'm sorry. And just when I got ready to go live, I had a youngin throw her bottle completely out of her bed. So I had to go fix that. Yes. Yes, I agree. I agree. Actually, that this live would have probably been good there. Okay. This week, well, actually today, it was brought to my attention that a particular creator did a live. And during that live, I go on panel. I'm a panel guest on that live. We are going to review that today. The reason being is because A, I mentioned, and B, there's a lot of information, in my opinion, is false. One of the worst things that we can do is spread false information in these cases, because it takes the focus off of the kids and puts it on the drama. And when you get a whole bunch of people talking about the drama, nobody's talking about the facts of the cases. When you get a whole lot of speculation and rumors, then your facts can get distorted. And so today we're going to go over that. Give me just a second. Some streams are harder to do than others. And this is one of those streams for me, because there is some people that at one time you respected, that you actually looked up to. And this is one of those cases for me. But if something is said about me, guarantee I'm going to correct it. And let's be real. These cases has had enough drama and junk put in them as is. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Let me know if you can see. If you can see my screen, let me know. Okay. Now I guess the better question is, let me know if you can hear my screen.
I don't know. I can't remember her name. I know it's Granny. Let me see if I want to make sure I tell y'all. Granny's watching. That's it. Granny.
Okay. Granny's watching did a live stream the other day. She was going over the stream that Cluminati did, where Gabby came on and was telling how she knew things from when Katie and Seth was married. This is going to set the precedence of what this live stream is about. And I have got her sped up.
He's watching. Yes, Millie. So anyway, I watched her channel. She was playing Illuminati. She had a friend of Katie on there. She talked a lot about Katie and Chris's life.
No, she wasn't talking about Katie and Chris's life, Lolly. She was talking about Katie and Seth's life. She made it real plain that she does not know Chris.
When they were married, she talked about how, not Chris, Seth and Katie's life when they first got married, and they had Sebastian, and talking about the fact that Chris stayed home and Katie was in the Navy, so she went to work, and she was, the one who financially took care of the family. And I heard a lot of people complaining and stuff, but what got me was, if you have a child who has a disability, and at the time they knew about, from what I understand, they knew about the water on the brain, the bucket. So if that's the truth, then a parent should stay home, because there's going to be lots of doctor's appointments. There's going to be lots of taking care of him. Yes, Blue Eyes, thank you. But
And you know what? I can agree with that. I can agree that parents should stay home if a kid has a condition that requires them to be there. I don't think that's what happened here, but again, that's my opinion. What I don't think that should happen is I don't think that kid ought to be hit in the back of the head at any point. And let me just let you all know something. Hey, Duchess. Hey, Michelle. Hey, Carl. Let me just fill you all in on something. I have no side, but I will call out what looks shady. I have done it with Chris, and I'll do it with Seth as well.
I can understand that he stayed home. I didn't take it as he was lazy and just laid around in his underwear, as they implied, playing video games.
Who implied that?
Might have. You very well might have. I don't know. And that's the thing. None of us know. And sorry, my dog's trying to play around. But we got to stop and remember that unless it's happening today, unless it's part of what we're doing here, guys, I'm not going to talk about it too much. It does talk about character. But for me, we've all probably, I know I have made mistakes. I did things in my past that, I'm not real proud of. I was young. I was stupid. I made bad choices. I grew up. Sometimes it takes a little longer for some to grow up. But at some point, we all grow up. Now, where Seth is in his life right now, I think he's still making some choices from emotions. I think he is making choices just to spite people. That's my opinion.
Well, I agree with that. I think he's been real spiteful to Katie.
I do think that Seth is the only parent that is out searching, and I have to give him credit for that.
Okay.
I think
I want the
beginning,
receipts. I want to know how you know without a shadow of a doubt that Katie and Chris aren't searching. You see, the only thing that I can give you is facts. And Duchess ran a billboard. They donated to that billboard. This far, I've not saw Seth go on a panel that didn't drop his cash app. And every time he's supposed to be searching, he's walking around acting like his shoulders hurt. When was the last time he searched?
people came onto the scene with Seth and created this little bubble that Seth lives in. And he's the good parent because Katie and Chris are over here being the bad parents.
And who did that? Who created that scene? I think you know them very well.
And, we do that a lot.
Unfortunately.
We do it a lot. And to do that is not fair because we're all human. We all make mistakes. We all make bad judgments, even today. It's how we handle them that shows our maturity. And a lot of people have turned on Seth. Their opinions about who Seth could possibly be has dramatically changed. And it's because of decisions that he's making. And you can't fault anyone for that. No one can be wrong because it's their opinions. But to hear
people can be wrong. Your opinion can be wrong.
Story about Seth not letting Katie wear a dress, or Katie wore pants and all the other girlfriends for their girls' night out was wearing dresses. And it became Seth wouldn't let her wear it. And they go out and everybody's in dresses, but she is in pants. Then a panel guest comes up.
Panel guests, you can say Coldcasecrystal. I really don't care. Crystal came on to Granny's Watching's channel. Now, she's going to tell you I said something, but it's not what I was saying. Evidently, she didn't listen too good.
And talks about how that said a whole lot to her because that was Chris's way of controlling.
Well, first of all, we're talking about Seth. But I didn't say that was Seth's way of controlling her. Controlling her, in my opinion, would have been not even letting her go out with the girls. But you see, narcissist has got several ways to keep you under their wing. In my opinion, and this is what I said on Granny's Watching's panel, because I have been there before. The whole not wearing a dress was to affect her self-esteem. Ladies, put a 1 in chat. If you dress up, put your makeup on, you feel better about yourself. I do. Now, if I'm wearing jeans, when everybody else is dressed up in their dresses or their finest clothes, guess what? I'm going to feel like I'm the ugliest one in the crowd. So, no, I did not say it was to control her. But I bet you everything that it did make her feel like crap. It did affect her self-esteem. That's my opinion, and you've already said opinions can't be wrong.
That was just part of Chris controlling her. Well, first of all, that was a long time
We ain't talking about Chris. It was Seth.
ago. Second of all, it has nothing to do with Sebastian today. They are not
Not
together.
one time did I say it did. If I'm being completely honest, what any of these people that have came on a panel and said about Chris and Katie, Seth, or anyone else has nothing to do with finding Sebastian. When Nina came on and decided she was going to tell her story, that sure didn't have nothing to do with finding Sebastian. But now, what Gabby did do was give us an insight of how Sebastian was when he was younger. And guess what we do, Lolly? We do exactly what you said in this live stream. We grow. So if he could do those things at 7, can you imagine what he can do now?
And whatever happened in the past happened in the past. Now, today, I don't think Seth is controlling Katie. I actually think it's the other way around.
And how is that? Please tell me one live stream that Katie or Chris has done and disparaged Seth. Tell me one. Now, I know Chris and Seth kind of had their backwards and forward on a panel when Heather was on there. But tell me one live stream that they've came out and said, Seth did this, Seth did that. I've not heard them. Not one time. Not once. Matter of fact, before everybody was talking about the divorce papers, I knew about those. I had saw those online. And when Duchess did a live stream doing questions, I asked something very similar, opening the door that if Chris Proudfoot wanted to say something, he could. And guess what? He didn't. Now, in return, show me one live stream that Seth has done since he found out that Katie went to that campground. I'm going to stress that because that's important. That he hasn't thrown little darts and made snide comments. Show me one. I'll wait. One stream that he did that he does not mention Katie or Chris or try to act like they are the worst people in the world.
And I can't think about what happened 15 years ago, because that's not going to help me do anything. And people will say, oh, but it shows their character. Yeah, I hope you don't judge me on 15 years ago, because I was a young mom. Well, not so young, but I was still a mom of kids, and my husband worked off, and I had kids to do alone. And I was tired, and I was working, and I was raising kids, and I was cooking dinner and cleaning house, and I was exhausted, and I was cranky a lot. But I was still me. So don't go looking at the past, guys, because it's not going to do no good for what's going on today. Now, today, I will say this about Seth. I was going off of what we saw, what we actually physically saw with our own very eyes. And we did not see Katie and Chris searching. We did see Seth searching almost every.
Katie and Chris put up the missing signs. Katie and Chris donated towards the billboards. Even Seth has said that law enforcement said for them not to be searching. He has even said that.
Every day. And that's a fact. But I did not see Seth controlling Katie. So if he did that back then, he's not doing it now. So why should we waste our time talking about it? I don't get it.
Well, let me help you out with that. Because in the divorce papers, we hear about him hitting Sebastian on the back of the head. Well, and choking him. And when Gabby was on that panel, she said that she wasn't the neighbor that was there. So guess what? That's more than once. That's more than one time. So it seems like that is a common behavior. Now, in a minute, you're going to go after Chris because he spanked Sebastian. Let me make this clear. I do not agree with hitting a kid. I don't care where it's at. But you're going to go after Chris over spanking on the rear end, but you are not even going to mention what Seth did to Sebastian, what people say they seen. Not just her, teachers, CPS workers.
Somebody needs to explain it to me, because that's crap. Total crap. But if you think about Seth today, and you think about him in a way that you don't care for him today, what he's done, his actions now, right there, that's 100% you and your feelings and how it's happening now.
Okay. First of all, I don't think these parents had anything to do with Sebastian going missing. It's a hard one to grasp, ain't it? I don't. I think that Sebastian could have had many ways that he could have got out of that house. I think that he had more access at his dad's to the internet. Do I think that was a crime? No, I don't. But it is a possibility. I think that Sebastian was an intelligent young man. and that he would have been able to walk out of that house. That's what I think. Now, the after effect of things, what I don't like when parents go after somebody with no evidence. So, no, I don't like that about Seth. I don't like that he takes every opportunity, including when News Nation does a press conference, to dog law enforcement and Sebastian's mother. I don't like that.
And if you think he has something to do with Sebastian going missing, that's legit. But him laying around in his underwear playing games while Katie worked is not affecting the search for Sebastian today. It's not affecting finding out where Sebastian is right now. Hi, Sage. Thank you for being here, Sage Sleuth. So, guys, just always keep that in mind when you're out on the streets, because people, they like to take things from the past and judge people for today. But yet, if we started doing that to them, they wouldn't like it. If we said, oh, I don't like you because 15, 20 years ago, I know what you did. I know where you were at 15, 20 years ago. I know what you were doing. They wouldn't like it. They wouldn't want to be judged for it. But they don't have a problem judging other people for it. Now, if we look at Katie and Chris, everybody has strong opinions about them. There's a small percentage of people who are.
And right here, I'm going to speed her up a little bit, y'all. 1.75.
On their side for it. Okay, that's great. That's your opinion. Now, we do have a larger number of people who feel like they've done something. And like I said before, and I'll say it again, I got some hard questions for Chris Proudfoot.
What are they? Let me ask you something. If I could have Chris Proudfoot on my panel that isn't monetized, would you still have hard questions, or is that only for your panel? I mean, asking for a friend.
Whenever he's ready. But I can't help but think Katie was the last person with Sebastian. There is no evidence whatsoever of him leaving that home.
The absence of the kid says he left the home. Am I missing something?
And if he was inside the home and somehow disappeared, then Katie was the only person close by. So it's pretty obvious there was a very great cleanup job, I would say.
Okay. So you're telling me that I shouldn't judge what somebody did 15 years ago, which I completely agree. People do change. But what I am supposed to do is sit back and act like there was a cleanup job done. Okay.
Because kids don't disappear. I don't care what Chris Proudfoot said when he said Sebastian walked out the front door onto my front porch and disappeared. No.
Okay. The front door has a keypad. One little button will lock it. The other doors, now write this down, take your notes. The other doors do not lock like that. To my understanding, they need a key. All the keys are at home. Those doors are locked. It's easy process of elimination. What door he went out. Now, law enforcement went through that neighborhood at night and was not saw on the cameras. I think it's real possible that he walked out.
It does not happen like that. A child, an adult, a dog, an elephant, they don't disappear. None of us disappear. A lot of people have help disappearing. A lot of people have assistants disappearing. And so, in my opinion,
Well, under that same logic, could it not go the other way as well? I mean, under that very logic right there, assistants disappearing, could it not go the other way as well?
Katie is the key to all of it. Her husband is trying to protect her and trying to keep that whole situation away from her. So he goes on panels. He talks.
He don't go on as many panels as Seth does.
A lot of people have a bad impression of Chris. There's that small little few, no, thanks, Solo Sock, I love you. But there are that little few groups over here that they believe in Chris. They believe in Chris and Katie.
Let me make something real clear. If any of these parents had anything to do with Sebastian going missing, they need to put them under the jail and they should never see sunlight again. But we have not got no facts that says that. As a matter of a fact, law enforcement has said the very opposite, that there is no sign of foul play.
And that's okay. But some people don't need facts. Because if you want to go on facts, the number one and only fact we have is Katie Proudfoot was the one person that was with her son, Sebastian, when he disappeared. Now, could there have been an accident somewhere? Sure. Could there have been a handoff somewhere? Sure. Could he have walked away? I say no, only because there was no sense of him.
So the most logical thing, there's not a possibility of that. Think about this, you all. Could there have been a handout? Sure. Could there have been an accident? Sure. Could he have walked away? She don't think he can walk away.
Him. And when Chris Proudfoot did say there was a scent leading to the pond, no, that's not what law enforcement says, because it didn't happen. You only have a scent if it happens.
Okay, I want you to hear that one more time. One more time. Because this is where facts matter, Lolly.
Now, could there have been an accident somewhere? Sure. Could there have been a handoff somewhere? Sure. Could he have walked away? I say no, only because there was no scent of him.
Okay, now right here, listen to this.
And when Chris Proudfoot did say there was a scent leading to the pond.
Let's see who said that. Let's see who said that. Okay. You see, facts do matter. Now, this live stream is Sebastian Rogers' dad calls into the show. This was done on March the 11th. Let's see who said that, you all. Because you heard Lolly just say Chris Proudfoot.
Version of this interview, right?
I haven't seen the interview. I mean,
okay.
I was interviewed, but I haven't seen it yet.
Okay. But there is something that you said in the interview that was actually put into an article.
Again, take notes.
Said something about there was no scent, okay? Like the dogs weren't picking up a scent, but one dog followed a scent out into a construction site and then it disappeared. Could you maybe expand on that or explain a little bit more about?
Say it isn't so. Tell me that Seth isn't the one that talked about the scent dogs hitting on a scent first. Let's see what it says.
That?
One of the dog handlers told me.
The dog handlers told me.
First day.
Wow.
First
Monday,
day they told him.
that the dog popped to a trail and they followed it and went all the way around and it ended in a construction site, but it ended. It's like there was nothing there.
Right. And that's a little odd.
Okay. So now let's go back and listen to this again. Now that we know who said it.
Nope. Because there was no scent of him. And when Chris Proudfoot did say there was a scent leading to the pond. Nope. That's not what law enforcement says.
According to who? First of all, Chris Proudfoot was not the first person that come out and talked about the scent. Seth was. March the 11th. And he said the dog handlers told him.
Because it didn't happen.
So
You only
what
have
you're saying is Seth lied. Thank you.
a scent if it happens. And law enforcement said there was no scent to the pond. So that scent goes back into the house. You call that a diversion. And when people want to avoid the truth, they divert things away. When people want to protect someone, they will divert people away. It always, in Sebastian's case, will go back to his mother. The mother that right now is having the time of her life.
How do you know that? How do you know she's having the time of her life? Because you looked at a picture and she wasn't pulling her hair out?
With her stepdaughter. While her stepdaughter's mother is probably more than likely terrified.
Now, let's ask ourselves a little question here. They went to court. And Chris has got his daughter for however long the court said for him to have her. But the judge did not see a threat there, Lolly. I imagine that the judge probably didn't like Nina going on somebody's panel either, giving details about her daughter.
Because her daughter's in a home where a child disappeared. And you cannot blame her for that. I just pray, and I want all of you to pray with me, that that baby girl goes back to her mother and away from the house where children disappear.
Really?
Because if not, she might do something and they might not like it. They might get tired of her. And we wouldn't want her to disappear.
Lolly, that is gross. That is probably the grossest thing that I've ever heard come out of your mouth. Are you really going to sit there and insinuate that that kid is going to go missing? Why? Why would anybody do that?
Right, Katie and Chris? But if you stop and think about it, in my opinion, Chris wants his daughter there.
Please know that, in my opinion, is not an absolute.
All the time. He didn't want her to be born.
How do you
But-
know he didn't want her to be born? Because you're taking Nina's word on it? That you don't know about something that happened, what, years ago? Thought we wasn't supposed to be doing that.
Since she is, he wants to go ahead and have her. Because, you know, Chris likes to control.
And
get
how
what
do
he
you
wants.
know that? Because he won't let people on YouTube walk all over him?
Because Christopher is a mama's boy who's been spoiled his whole life.
And you know that how? Surely you all ain't pulling private information on people.
So it would be to his advantage to have his daughter with him all the time. But would it be to her advantage? I think not. No, thank you, Yelva. 90% of the time, the parent is involved. Yes, ma'am, 100%.
Okay, let's see about that too, because facts matter. And guess who looked this up? I did, because facts do matter. Okay. Family abductions, which are when a family member takes or keeps a child without the custodial parent's permission, makes up half of all reported abductions in the United States. According to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, about 200,000 of the 260,000 children abducted each year are taken by a parent. However, other sources estimate that 4% of minor children are victims of parental kidnapping or family abduction. 78% of abductors, Lord help me, are non-custodial parents.
90% of the time. And it's not something the child asked for. But we did hear the mother's version of what happened the first time, where there was no feelings towards her mother, the real mother of this child. There was no concern there that her daughter was in a hospital and she had to go be with her daughter, her older daughter. She had living hell from the moment she got back home. And yet that's the man that Sebastian was living with. And for me, I would think makes sense that it's my girl. She has to lay down by me. But it would make sense. Chris didn't want Sebastian around his daughter. And guess what? She's not around Sebastian.
Okay, we'll make this make sense. Chris was going through a custody battle with Nina. Chris, do you know, Lolly, we didn't even know Chris's daughter's name until her mother came out here and put it on YouTube. Put a 1 in chat if you knew her name before then. You know why? Because Chris never mentioned his daughter's name. He was protecting her. He didn't put her information out there. But what sense does it make to make a child disappear because you don't want them around your daughter when according to them, Sebastian was going to live with Seth? And 2, do you think it would help his case to have a missing child in his home while he's going through a custody battle? Do you think that would help his case? I don't. And you already said that you think he wanted him all the time. So, wanted her all the time. So, that logic don't make no sense to me.
He's not here to be around. You see a puppy. Yes, you do see a puppy. And I will say this. You see, there was a party for her before she came here for her birthday. And she got a puppy because that's what she wanted. But her daddy had to compete. But yet, Sebastian's stepfather never competed for him.
How do you know that? First of all, children are not trophies. We shouldn't be competing, period. But who is to say that Chris didn't do all the things with Sebastian? Because the fact is, we don't know. We do not know how it was 100% at Seth's, and we don't know how it was with Chris and Katie. I, for one, believe in innocent until proven guilty. You used to believe that, and I'll prove it.
And Sebastian's mother never competed for him, in my opinion. Because if she had, Sebastian probably wouldn't have disappeared. But you know, to find the answers to his whereabouts, to find the answers about what happened, we're all here. We're all trying. People are still going and looking. Look at Miss Terry Lynn. Every day she's on the live looking, searching, walking around some shady places in the dark. But she's doing what she can. But yet, Sebastian's mother, she's not doing anything. She's having the time of her life right now.
How do you know that? This irritates me. I mean, how do you know how Sebastian's mom feels? You don't.
She didn't look before her stepdaughter came, but she's sure not going to go looking now when all the
And
fun
again, you don't know what she's done. You're assuming.
is happening. You know, the story goes that Sebastian had the time of his life the day before he came up missing. Pray for that little girl. That's all I can say.
That's low, Lolly. That is low.
Because it's the same parent and step parent in the home where Sebastian disappeared from. It's the same people around her that are the same people that were around Sebastian. And that little girl, she has no choice but to be there because the judge said she had to.
The judge said she had to. Do you not think that he made that decision very, very carefully?
I understand that Chris and Katie are not charged with anything. I get it. There's nothing. No evidence. No nothing.
Come on. Surely you ain't speaking the truth right now.
But they get this little girl. What if someone came in that house with a gun
Oh my gosh.
and took Sebastian? What if that's what happened?
Do you not think that if somebody came into that house with a gun, that would have been reported? Oh my goodness.
Katie and Chris feel comfortable enough to bring his daughter into that home where possibly someone with a gun walked in and took Sebastian.
We do not, nor have we heard anything about Lord help me. We haven't heard anything about a pew-pew. Not one gun has been mentioned being coming into that home and taking Sebastian. So what she's doing right now, it's just flat out lying, creating her own little story. If somebody came in there with a gun, you don't think that would have been mentioned when they called to report him missing? The call would have went, somebody broke into my house, held me at gunpoint, and took my child. Oh my goodness.
They feel comfortable. They're okay bringing that little girl into that home. But it's just my opinion. They know that home is okay and safe because they're excited to have her. Everything will be okay. Now, Seth and Katie are Sebastian's parents, and they should be the two people that can put everything over to the side, just throw it over there for a while because it's their child.
One person's done that, Lolly. One person hasn't.
That is missing. And you know, when you have the loss of a child, it's the hardest thing in the world to deal with, especially for a mother who gave birth to that child. And it doesn't matter what anyone thinks. You're going to be destroyed if you didn't want your child to go away. I heard looking through my phone in my gallery of my pictures. I was scrolling through and I heard a song and I stopped and I looked at my phone just yesterday. And it was a video of my son playing Freebird. And I did nothing but cry a couple of hours because it brought back the memory and the thought that I will never hear my child play Freebird again on the guitar. I won't get that ever. And I don't understand how Katie can just go on with her life, leave the house that Sebastian knows, having the time of her life with Chris's daughter.
Again, how do you know? What would you rather her do, Lolly? Would you rather her be taking a blooming fit, screaming to the top of her lungs, scaring that child? I mean, how is she supposed to act in front of this child? Should she ignore her? Have nothing to do with her? Is she not allowed to love that child because she has a child missing?
Does she know something? Is Sebastian alive? Is he tucked away somewhere safe? Or is she avoiding talking because she knows he's not coming back home? Does she know? Does she know that he's no longer with us? There's been lots of rumors going around about
Rumors, keyword.
Sebastian sleeping in the garage.
Yeah, they started over there with you all. Those rumors did. Chris said none of that happened. It was on Dutch's interview where we did the questions with Chris and Katie, because somebody was down in the chat throwing that garbage out. And I said, I have not heard that. Where he goes on and says, no, he was not kept in no garage. But some people just want to keep it on running with that. Some people would rather put out speculation, lies, theories, that include guns coming in the middle of the night than to actually stick to the truth, stick to the facts. I'm disappointed, to say the very least. I do believe in innocent until proven guilty.
Because Chris didn't want him to wet the bed anymore. If that's the case, you're going to put a child in the garage
Yeah, that didn't happen.
because they can't control their bladder. And I don't care what you say, that child had special needs. And he needed parents
Are
to
you
help him.
talking in past tense? I still have faith that Sebastian's coming back.
He needed parents to teach him, not isolate him in his room or in the garage. Let him sit
Cherokee
there.
girl, I have no idea. I have no idea how she would know that Katie don't cry in her shower. You know, not all of us break down in front of everybody. And some people take in the well-being of the child. Some people are not going to scare a child to death. You know, one of the hardest things when you're a mom, but we do it, is putting a smile on when you want to cry.
There, play with his Legos in his Twitch or Stitch or whatever that thing is. You kept him hidden away. Were you embarrassed of your child?
Hidden away.
Katie? Chris, were you embarrassed of your stepson? You know, that was your chance to have a son, right? You couldn't play ball with him, could you?
You do understand that that was dangerous for Sebastian?
Go to biker rallies with him, could you? Go to football games with him.
Actually, we've seen quite a few pictures where Katie, Chris, and Sebastian are out having a great time. So I don't know where none of this is coming from.
That must have took a toll on you, Chris, because he's not what you expected. So you're going to shape him into this person, right? Is that what the discipline was all about? Throwing his toys away because he didn't clean his room properly. Spanking him. Whacking him.
I'm just going to tell you. My son calls it stripping his world. But I had asked my son several days in a row to pick up his toys. He didn't. So guess what I done? I burnt them, Lolly, because he didn't respect them. He wasn't taking care of them. If it was laying in his floor and I gave him forewarning, anything you don't want, son, you just leave it in your floor. I'm going to burn it. He didn't take me at my word and he lost them. But guess what? It only took once. Again, she's going to mention here where Chris spanked Sebastian. I do not agree with that. However, why is it you're going to bring up the spanking, but you're not going to talk about Seth hitting Sebastian on the back of the head on what looks like more than one occasion?
With a belt, because he didn't put on a damn belt. Is that your way of whipping him into shape? Was all of that a precursor to getting your daughter and having alone time with her? Is all of that your way, Katie and Chris, of removing him from the home? But to get him to his father, it's probably eating you up. Because if you said, hey, look, his daughter's coming and we want to spend some alone time with her, like what we do with Sebastian. Would it be okay with you if you just took him a little early? Would that have been too much?
Well, that's probably what would have happened. But everybody else, if they needed that alone time, but everybody else, Lolly, is wanting to make it something nefarious, because it's just got to be something nefarious. These parents just have to have something to do with it. When did you start this? When did clicks and views matter to you so much that you would get online and drag parents that you have no factual information did anything?
Would that have been too much to say? Because Seth has already said, if I would only known, he would have been in my house already. I hear Seth is somewhere in Texas. Wonder what for.
Good question.
Wonder what he could be looking into while he's in Texas. Never know. But maybe, just maybe, he'll get lucky and get some
Hey,
information.
Cotton Candy.
At least he's trying. Even if people don't like him and don't care for him. Even if he hasn't been the best person in his past. It really doesn't matter.
But you've gave us 101 reasons why it should. Because you got to keep the same energy. If you're going to judge Chris and Katie, then we could also say, well, just a second, y'all. We could also say, well, is he in Texas, maybe to possibly see Sebastian? You see how easy those are to just throw out there, Lolly, with no factual information behind it. Now, do I think he is? No. But
If he's out looking.
let me make sure I let her up. Okay. Hey, Eric.
Hey, honey. Hey, sorry. It has been a very, very crazy, about an hour or so, give or take. I'm so sorry.
Oh, you're fine. Okay, she's getting ready to say something that really, really irritates me. Just a second.
Or not to Katie and Chris. They would rather he just stop, because that means they still have his daughter, she's there. And that's what they wanted, right? Katie and Chris, you wanted his daughter alone, not with your son, Katie. And you allowed that to happen, Katie. It's sickening. As a mother who lost a child, that I don't get my child back. It is complete sickening.
Okay, Lolly, you went there.
Wow.
Let me tell you something. As a mother that has buried 2 sons, it is sickening to me that a mother that knows this pain, that knows what the worst day of her entire life could feel like, could get on a panel and accuse another mother of harming her child when you don't have no evidence, ma'am. That is sickening to me. For the very reason that I have buried 2 kids, there is no way I could get on a panel and accuse parents of harming their kid if there's no evidence that say so. None. So how dare you to pull that card? It's low, Lolly. You forgetting who you used to be? Because I think you are. So let's remind you of who you was a year ago before all your influences come into play. Can we do that just a second? Because you didn't used to talk like this. And I'll prove it, you all. This upsets me, and that part really upset me. You know,
Wow,
that was
Lolly.
one thing that when I was talking to Lolly, that we actually understood each other, I thought, on. Because when you lose a child, that's a little club you don't want to be no part of. And the last thing you would want to do is hurt somebody that has lost a child. It's the last thing you would want to do. I'm sorry, Eric. Go ahead and I'll find this video.
It's okay. Well, you know what, Lolly? It was bad enough with you and your buddy up on panel together. I mean, I did clip that. I did clip those off my soundboard. No, it's up to Crystal whether or not to play it, but I told you earlier, you're next on my list. You're next. Because
Okay, y'all.
girl,
This. Sorry.
that's okay.
I'm sorry. There's a.
Okay.
See, that was back, Lolly, when we used to be friends. Look who's on your panel. It's me. Let me see if this is one.
I got you, Crystal. You're okay, honey.
Okay. This might be it. It might not. Just a second.
It's the horrible part of this. At this point, I don't even know who to trust with information. I don't know that anybody
No,
is telling.
that's not it. Just a second. Okay. Bear with me, you all. Am I wrong, Ert, or is this one worse than the other one?
This one takes the cake. The other one is that one just bounced to number 2.
It bothers me so bad that somebody could, the whole accusing parents period. I don't do that. We don't do that on this channel. But when you take and have absolutely zero evidence and you're willing to drag a mother that has lost her child when you should know what the worst day of your life feels like. I don't understand it.
I wouldn't either. I don't understand it at all. But you know what? You have to look at it this way. You got to look at the chat that she sits in. It's a vile, disgusting chat. And I'll just leave it there. I won't go any further. I'm sure people already know who I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure everybody knows.
You were just there a little bit ago.
That you was on that these streets are trashy panel. See how much things change, you all.
Yeah, you do.
Let me see here.
Look, at the end of the day, I'm going to stand for what's right, and I'm going to call it straight down the middle, like I do with everything else that comes in the middle of everybody. If 2 of my friends are having a blowout, I'm going to hear both sides of their story. Just like with Seth and Katie and Chris, I'm going to listen to both sides of their story. I may not like one, I may not like the others. It doesn't matter. I'm still going to call it straight down the middle. I'm still going to listen to both sides of their story. I'm not just going to pick one and blame the others. That's not going to be how I roll.
And I mean, I've never been like that. Like I've said from the very beginning, there's one side that I'm on, and that is Sebastian's. If tomorrow we
Absolutely.
find out that Seth, Chris, or Katie have had anything to do with Sebastian's disappearance, I hope they bury them under the jail.
Bingo.
Throw the book at them. But without any evidence at all, no, that's not who I am. Let's see here.
Absolutely. And I'm in agreement. I've said it from day one. I am unbiased throughout all this. My side for here is Sebastian's. I'm going to, like everybody else around here, we're going to be his voice. That's it. I'm nobody's voice. I'm not Chris's. I'm not Katie's. I'm not Seth. I'm not their voice. I'm that young man's voice right there. Just like Crystal is, just like Duchess, just like Allie, just like Michelle, just like Cotton Candy, everybody in that chat.
My question is this. If they find out their accusations are 120% false, are they going to go live and say how wrong they were? Or are they going to make excuses on why they felt that way?
Have we ever heard them say, "Oh, we're sorry, we made a mistake"? No. Never heard
No.
Did okay, we heard all this sick shit that Bullhorn said down in Georgia. We heard all this sick stuff that Molly said, that Dolly did. Have any one of those three ever said they were sorry for the
No.
things that they said, especially about that just that poor baby? Did they ever say they were sorry for how they described him?
No.
No. That just
Nope.
shows that they don't care one bit.
Well, when Athena went missing in Texas, everybody came out and was bashing that stepmom. She was the last one with Athena. You know, she just got mad, lost her temper. We saw it within hours. It flooded all social media. The FedEx man kidnapped her.
Yep.
Did anybody go live talking about how they should not have said that? Nope. Sure didn't. Not one. Not one person went live to say they were wrong. So why would I think that they're going to do any better in this one?
Right.
I'm just going to say this one right here. Let me see here. Because let me see here.
I see you, Cotton Candy. You sweetheart, you. But this one right here, look, when I reviewed her back on Mother's Day, I chose Mother's Day for a reason. I did it to make them feel bad. That's why I chose that specific day. And I did tag Lolly and Annabella. And after the stream, I took the tag off. I wanted them to know that I was reviewing them. But to keep their names on the titles, no. I wasn't giving them any more clout than I already did.
Let me see here. Okay, we're just going to do this one because I can't find the one that I saw earlier. But let's compare. These streets are trash. Well, they're trashier now. So let's see.
Who had to have been in cahoots. It doesn't make sense. It's stupid. It's scary as fuck. Excuse my language, but that's all that I could come up with. And I started realizing, wait a minute, do I even want to put my Discord link out there?
Crystal, I'll be right
Because
back.
what I would like for my Discord, others
Okay.
may not use it for that. And I don't want to be no part of this trash that's being put out there. You know, I mean, it's just, oh my gosh, insane crazy. And this map that was put out there, I got to see this map. You know, Smiley showed it on her channel, and it was coming from West Virginia. Guys, it came from a certain direction that only one of the other two creators lived. And then I start getting messages. You know, it wasn't me. I didn't have nothing to do with this. No, too late. You have already trashed up the streets even more. And it's not right. And I'm so tired of trying to find a way to muddle through the trash that's being thrown in the streets. You know, YouTube is a social media society. That's it. Some people become friends on there while we're all here together in Discords, or, you know, get email links or phone numbers or whatever it is. Some people become friends that way. And that's great. Let them be friends. But some don't. And if you don't, then you should not be that person that is putting maps out to somebody else's house.
I agree. Isn't it amazing how people change?
It's just so wrong on so many levels, you know? And all it does is just make things even trashier. The YouTube true crime community has got one of the worst reputations on YouTube right now. And it's not because of a little girl that went missing. It has nothing to do with her. Although that's what we all talk about. But she didn't do anything. She didn't do anything to throw trash around on these streets. You know, it's creators who are so into themselves that they lose sight of this 5-year-old little girl. And it is so wrong. And if that's all that these creators want to do, then they need to go elsewhere to do it. You know, it's unacceptable.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry.
What happened, Lolly? What happened in 11 months? How could you change so much in 11 months? I mean, you didn't want trash put out a year ago. You didn't. Could this 218 views have something to do with it? Let's see how much views you got on the one that you're slandering, in my opinion. The Proudfoots. 2,200 views, you all. Now, in that other one, she was talking about shouldn't have trash up, be putting trash out. She used to say, innocent until proven guilty. Lolly, what happened to that person? Because this ain't her. This is absolutely not her. I don't get it. I don't understand. And it has to be for clicks and views. It has to be. I mean, surely you wouldn't just do this because it makes you feel good. Now, I'm going to listen to this. Was from 2 days ago.
Been nearly 4 months since 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers was last seen in Sumner County. Last night, his dad, Seth, spoke about the ongoing search and the devastating reality of spending a Father's Day without a son. Peyton Kennedy is in downtown Nashville following the ongoing statewide search.
And unfortunately, Seth says that he has no new updates from the TBI or from Sumner County in this case. But personally, he says he takes every lead very seriously, double checking all of the information with his own private investigators. And since February 26, we have seen massive efforts from local and state agencies and people near and far who have felt called to help in this search, scouring the areas where Sebastian may be and spreading missing person flyers across the country. Seth has previously asked for the FBI to step in, but only Sumner County can call on them for help. He says he simply wants to know if Sumner County is any further along than they were over 100 days ago. And if not, he says it's time to take next steps. Seth's message to Sebastian remains the same.
Get to a phone. My phone is still on, son. The same phone number. Everything. I need you to call me. I need you to call 911. I need you to tell who you are. That you need to tell them that you are wanted.
He's missing, not wanted.
I need you home. I need to know you're safe. I need you, buddy.
Sebastian is 5'5", 120 pounds, dirty blonde hair. If you have any information about him or his whereabouts, you can call TBI or the sheriff's office. TBI's number is 1-800-TBI-FIND. Live in Nashville, Peyton Kennedy, News 2.
Okay. Just a second. Okay. Now, also in that, there was a part of it that he says he didn't feel like they all had the same goal. I don't understand why you would go on national TV and use that time to dog the mother of your missing child. I don't. So when I say anything about Seth, it's because of those things that he does. Do I think I don't know what happened. I don't know how he went missing. What I do know is what law enforcement has said, that they don't believe there was foul play. No signs of it. So why in the world do a live stream like the one we just watched?
I got it. You know what? Lolly, let's have a talk, shall we? Let me tell you something, Lolly. I went after you twice. I didn't do the third one. Why? Because I don't do the Summerwells case. There's nothing, again, I have nothing against it. I don't. You know why? Well, I wasn't here for it. I came in late. And, well, I didn't quite have the time to fully catch up on it. And I don't like the drama that surrounds the case of Summerwells. So I don't speak on her. But I'll share her picture out. I'll share out any news that there is on her, if there is any. Now, you compared Katie and Candace, Chris and Dawn. Are you out of your mind? You know what? Don't answer that. You have to have a mind to be out of it.
You know, though, I will do this much. None of those, law enforcement has not came out and said any of those people have did something. Not once.
That's right.
So there, we got something in common with it. Law enforcement has not said one time that there is reason to believe that they're involved. It's been 3 years with Summer.
Sure has.
And I have to trust that law enforcement knows more than we do.
But Lolly, are you on board with Bullhorn from a year ago, where she wanted, but she never did, but wanted to go down to Tennessee and have Summer declared legally deceased so Donna Candace can be arrested for her unalivement when there was no evidence of any sort? There is no evidence of any sort. Are you on board with her for that? Because I sure as hell aren't. I'm not. Oh, no. I'm sure as hell not on board with that one bit. No. And she couldn't do it anyway, simply because Summer would have to be gone for 7 years to be declared legally deceased. And Bullhorn is not a family member. She's not any relative of
I'll be
Donna
right back.
Candace. Okay, baby. So, yeah. Lolly, are you on board with that? Because see, here's how I figure with your speech and your talking about these cases. You watch other creators. And I'm guessing you do what another creator does. One who's vile and disgusting. You write down everything that you watch from other creators. And you memorize it. That way when you go live, you talk about it. You remember everything you wrote down from these other creators. You know how I know? It's because it's easy to pick up. All the things that you said back on Mother's Day, you and Annabella, well, you picked those up from other creators. I can name them. I choose not to. Why? I'm not going to give them a plug. They don't deserve it. I'll give those people a plug on my channel when I feel like it. But I told you that if you do this again, I will review you. And I won't be as kind as Crystal here. But back then I didn't know Crystal very well. I knew of her. But I won't be so kind. I mean, just ask Betty. Betty don't like me. Just ask Smiley. Smiley ain't gonna like me after today. And that's fine by me. And all I did was have a little fun with Smiley. That's all I did. I just had a little fun with her. I wasn't being mean to her. I don't think I was. But you know what? This is for... I don't think the new people in here have seen what you...
I agree, Alex.
Oh, Lolly is a follower of the cult. Yes, she is. But I don't think the new people have seen this, Crystal. What these two have actually said in the past. Now, I will say, Lolly acted like she was big and hard on this panel. And it was her own panel, too. She acted like she was all hard. She was all hard up and everything. You know why? It's because the leader of that so-called cult was in the chat, but then she took off. That's why. That's why she was acting all hard up, showing out. Why do you have to show up and show out for people, Lolly? You can't think on your own? I'm just asking.
Well, what I don't get...
I'm sorry. This is ridiculous.
What I don't get is, if we were looking at the facts, how many facts was wrong in that live stream? I showed it. She said Chris was the one that talked about the scent. No, Seth talked about it first. Let's be real clear on that. Seth mentioned it on March the 11th on Pascal's show that the dog handler said they got a scent. People, let's think about that. Do you honestly think law enforcement is going to come out and tell us everything? No, they don't have to. They owe us nothing. And again, because I got a baby waking up. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say it real loud and plain. I have not. And if somebody can find me just one clip since Katie went with Chris to the campground where Seth has not been throwing little darts at Katie, send it to me. Because I am that creator that will go live and say, I was wrong. I am that person. I've done it before. I'll do it again. But I haven't heard one. And I'll tell you why I think that is. Since I'm giving my opinion, I think he got jealous. He did not dog Katie as bad until she went with Chris. I think he got jealous. He thought she'd be right there with him. He'd have full access to her. I could be wrong about that. But that's when I noticed a big shift in how Seth was acting.
I agree.
And I'm sorry, it doesn't look good. 3 days in, you are already setting up a GoFundMe. How did you know you were going to be out of work that long?
Right. See, that's the burning question around here. Why else would people go after Seth for that GoFundMe? Why? Ask yourselves. Y'all come up with an answer.
Yeah.
Put out a
Ellie,
video.
you're right. He's did it in just about every stream he's done. Just about every stream he has throwed snide comments at the Proudfoots.
But Crystal, have you noticed though, every stream that he goes on, he's trashing the Proudfoots. But if he goes on News Nation or Court TV or any one of those, he ain't trashing them. He ain't even bringing them up.
Did. Oh, he did too. On News Nation the other day, he most certainly did. He said he felt like he was the only one with that goal.
Yeah, but he's not trashing them, like putting out their personal business, putting out,
no.
Not that kind of trashing though. I'm talking about that kind of trashing, putting out Katie's personal business.
But he does take every opportunity that he can to throw little darts at Katie. And I'm sorry, I notice stuff like that. I do.
Isn't that weird? That some of us can notice things like that, nobody else can.
And it's not that I'm being partial. It's not that I'm playing favorites. Because I'm going to be honest with you. There was things that Chris said on Dutch's panel when we did the questions that I didn't understand. I did not understand why he didn't answer the question about the shoes. Why they didn't answer that, I didn't understand that. And I said I didn't. Because I'm going to call a spade a spade. But if I'm putting them next to each other and adding up who's doing the most, Seth, you get the trophy. But that's not for looking for Sebastian. It's because every time you go on a panel, you've got something to say about Katie. If you really want your son found, try putting his information out there. Try begging him to come home. Don't put stuff on YouTube that the kid, well, I know my children would be embarrassed of. Maybe Sebastian isn't watching YouTube, but guess what? I bet his friends are. And you're putting all this business out there. But yet, we've got creators that want to do a whole live stream throwing out false accusations at Chris and Katie that are not going out there and dogging Seth. And like I said, I gave Chris the opportunity to. I gave him the opportunity to say that Katie had that in her divorce papers. He didn't, you all. What does that tell you? And as far as Katie having the time of her life, what do you want her to do? Is
Oh,
she
you didn't know?
supposed to never go out to eat? Is she supposed to just sit around and cry and tell this child that is in her home right now, I just can't do it. I can't, I'm scared to death. Somebody, you don't do that around a kid.
Well, Crystal, you didn't know? There's people on TikTok, and I'm going to give you guys a little bit of backstory here. The women on TikTok, the ones that Tony associates with, see, here's what they want Katie to do. They want Katie to lay in bed, whimper, never leave that bed. They want her just to lay there. They don't want her to move. They don't want her to take showers. They don't want her to do anything. They just want her just to lay there and shrivel. They want her to sleep nonstop. However, they want her to get up and look for her son. Well, how can she do that if that's what they want her to do, and just lay in that bed and shrivel and not do anything and just sleep, not eat, not do anything? Think about it. But they want her to just get up and search for Sebastian. See, this is how dumb them TikTokers are. If you're not on their side, you're a target. If you're not on Seth's side, you're a target. I guess I'm a target because I'm not for anybody except for that young man. I guess everybody's a target because we're not for any of them. We're for that young boy. So throw those darts, people, because I'm only for one person and one person only, and that's for Sebastian to come home where he belongs.
Me too, Kim.
But
you know, I think that YouTube could actually be a really good resource for getting information out. If people would quit putting out garbage. And you know what? Just saying every now and then, in my opinion, it doesn't exempt you from anything. Period. It don't. Nobody better, Kim.
ain't nobody gonna come for Kim.
And I'll be honest with you. At this point, Seth, you're hurting Sebastian's case. I tell you what I would like to see. I'd like to see all three of these parents work together. Stand united. Because we don't know where Sebastian is, you all. Instead of people taking to a mic and coming up with some of the wildest theories ever, like somebody coming to the home with a gun. I'll say it, I'm not monetized. How about going out and hanging up some flyers? How about going to blip.org and make your own blip? You don't have to donate to nobody else. You can make them yourself. I've done it several times. Sponsor a blip. Do something useful. But don't go online and trash parents when you have no facts saying anything that they did anything to this kid. It's sick. Well, I want to thank you for coming up. I guess I'm going to get off here. I've said about what I want to say, but
No problem.
hopefully I can get back to code cases. But too many people want to pull this junk too many times. Betty, I'm talking about you too. I'm going to turn into a reaction channel.
You know what? You know what? You and I will talk later. We'll talk about that. I got some ideas. And I also got a couple ladies that might want in on that too. But
Oh, I just see this art. Let me see what.
well, this all depends if you want to play it. This is some for the new folks that haven't seen this. It's what they did on Mother's Day. Their stream.
I saw it. Has anybody not saw this in the chat? Go ahead and play it.
Okay. You just let me know if it gets too much because, yeah.
So, Miss Katie, honey, you need to speak up for your child. You need to stand up and get a backbone. A backbone that supports your son. You carried that child in your belly for 9 months. And you're the only real mother he has. But we don't hear from you. Now, the mother was at home with Sebastian that night. And she was on a 3-hour phone call with the stepdad. There's been lots of questions about that 3-hour phone call. But I'm sure phone records have showed if they were on the phone together for 3 hours or not. But we have a mother here that, I mean, she randomly remembers new things. And I'm sorry, but any person with common sense says, something's not right here. Something's not right. But, you know, you have so many variations. You have so many times that you see the real father out searching, and yet the real mother and the stepdad are off searching for new motorcycles, telling lies about going to a motorcycle rally opening thing, blah, blah, blah.
I was going to.
Okay, first of all, just because somebody is at a motorcycle shop does not mean they're looking to buy a new motorcycle. Did it occur to anybody? Maybe they took flyers there. We don't know. The fact of the matter is, just because Sebastian is missing does not mean that this family should just stay locked up in their house, be miserable the rest of their life, and never get out and do anything. God forbid they should eat. God forbid they should put on a smile for a small child. Lord forbid they should be able to laugh. To me, that isn't even reasonable. Without proof, why get out here and say stuff like that? Why say they're shopping for a motorcycle when you don't know? I mean, I've been to car lots before, just looking at what they've got. That didn't mean I was in the market for another vehicle. Am I wrong?
No, I agree. And let me ask you guys in the chat something. If you were going to buy a motorcycle, right? And you got people stalking the outside of your house, taking pictures, and they're dropping them in Facebook groups and all over the internet. Don't you think that somebody would have captured a motorcycle in the back of the truck or on a flatbed? I would think so.
I would think so too.
And don't you think somebody would capture you on the back of a motorcycle, riding off into the sunset with your hair blown in the wind? Don't you think that should be all over Facebook groups, all over the internet? I would think so too. So that's pretty stupid to even think that they were out buying a new motorcycle when nobody's ever seen a freaking motorcycle before. And I laugh at it now because all the stuff that everybody's been posting about Chris and Katie, all of the photographs, not once have I ever seen a motorcycle in their presence. Why buy a motorcycle if you're not going to ride it?
Wonder if you find out who that is. Michelle, drop my email in the chat. Please send it to me. People doing stuff like this right here is ridiculous. Recording somebody's home, sneaking and taking pictures of somebody eating while they're with a minor kid, putting people's information out there. All of that is ridiculous. There's no call in it. Okay, go ahead, Herb.
No, I'm sorry. I was just reading it. This is ridiculous. But wait a second. She's been sitting.
Me too, Scott.
Katie's house and such. You know what? There was a channel that showed up on my recommendations. I have to go through my history because I never delete my history. I'll have to send it to you, Crystal. Somebody driving by Chris and Katie's house. I'll have to send it to you. Wanderer, I'm thinking I know that name. I think it's that name. I'll have to look through my history. But they were in a car, though. I'll look through my history and I'll send it to you.
Okay.
Lord have mercy.
Michelle,
You see how
screenshot
dangerous
this.
is?
Or Allie, either one.
You guys know how you see how dangerous this is? Y'all are messing with people's lives.
Yes, and what gets me, Nina, if your child's in danger, you helped contribute to that. Lolly said that Nina's probably there just scared to death because Sebastian went missing in that home. And that might be true. I don't know. But Nina, does it not bother you that there's people taking pictures of your child while she's out trying to have a meal? Does that not bother you? Where are you? Why are you not speaking up now, saying, please don't take pictures of my child? Why aren't you doing that? Okay, you can push play.
Nina, I hope you're happy. Because, see, your daughter was put out on TikTok first before it hit Facebook groups. Actually, it originated on Facebook groups, then went to TikTok, and then ended up on YouTube. And these are people that are doing the most. I mean, I got nothing for you. I don't. Because you took time out of people covering Sebastian and came up here. And look, I tried to stop people from bringing up your little girl's name. I try. And I'll keep trying. Will it work? No. But she's my concern too. Because you got people like Betty, who's a freaking dangerous woman. She is dangerous. And some of them TikTokers, and I know one of them has direct contact with you. You might want to tell them to keep their mouths shut because they do a lot of talking over there. I'm just giving you fair warning. And that's all I will say. Anything else, I won't say nothing.
Didn't happen. And I believe Justin's the one that popped that bubble on that one. But they're not searching. And it's been said 100 times, and I'll say it again one more time. No one is going to search when they already know where it's at. If you wanted to wear your favorite pair of sunglasses that you just bought, you're not going to search the whole house over if you know exactly where you put it.
See, I don't like the way she's saying it.
You're not going to go
never
searching.
did.
And in my opinion, they know
you, Wonder.
exactly where he's at.
No, Duchess, I'm not kidding.
And it seems like the stepfather, who likes to talk a lot. I mean, I think this guy's in love with himself.
Love you, Allie.
Personally. But yeah, he likes to talk, and he likes to talk to women. He will go on a woman's channel.
That's
He's been
funny. I
invited
see Seth talk more.
to talk to Justin.
I'm trying not. I'm sorry. I'm sitting here with. I'm trying with a straight face here. I'm trying, but this one's out of her gourd with this one. Who's in love with themselves again? Crystal. Who?
Oh,
I'm confused.
well, I'm just saying, if we lined up the streams, and please don't think I'm above it, because I will. Don't
I'm
think for
with you.
1 second I won't put up every single live that has been done, and we can see who's talking more.
I'll help. I got time. I sure do. I got time. You point me in one direction, and I'll go and grab them. And Lolly will give you the biggest education you've ever had in your life. And we'll see which one does the most talking and who loves themselves more. Also, I know where to grab the screenshots of Seth Rogers in another chat before he deleted his other channel. Because see, that channel doesn't show up in the other chat anymore. But I know who has the screenshots of them. That was the night we were trolling another chat, and we were simply asking Seth questions, and we were being nice about it. That's all. Because everything.
Let's see here. They came on Duchess. That was the first interview.
Yeah.
Then they did the Q&A with me, Duchess, and Arctic Fox. Then he did go on Smiley's, trying to address some issues. He's been on Cluminati's, talking to Cletus, and he's talked to Truth and Queen Bee. Who am I missing, you all? He came on one panel that Heather was on because he was tired of people putting out stuff, because he was a little upset in that one. Am I missing one?
Web sleuths.
Web Sleuths. Yeah, that was the one that he come on there. That's the one with the with Heather on it that he come on there addressing Seth and the PIs. Now, how many has Seth been on?
There's the same channels count, or there's all just one?
Well, I counted him going on Duchess twice. Chris went on Duchess twice.
Okay, well,
and
I guess
still ended up counting.
Okay, same rules apply then. So let's just say what all the channels that Crystal just named off Chris's, were all the panels he'd been on. Times 3 that. There you go. Times 2. There you go. Times 2 that. That's how many Seth has been on. So yeah.
Kim says over a month ago it was over 50. So Chris and Katie has been on less than 10 panels.
We got a lot of work to do.
Don't worry, I'll make a spreadsheet with links. Anybody want to donate a link? I will most certainly appreciate it. But I'll make a spreadsheet. We'll compare. We'll see who's doing the talking.
Yeah, and you know
Do
what?
you know who isn't talking, you all? You know who is not out here just running their mouth? Katie. And in my opinion, she's the only one doing what law enforcement asks not to. We have already heard Seth and Chris both say law enforcement told them not to search. That's not just Chris saying that. Seth said it too. There was an agreement not to make a GoFundMe because law enforcement said that wasn't a good look. Who told us that? Chris and Seth. Hey, Jason. But yet, 3 days after Sebastian went missing, there was a GoFundMe made. Make that make sense. You know what? I'm pretty sure everybody's seen this one. And I'd rather, let me see. No, I don't want to kick Earth. I want to, how do I, okay, there we go.
I'm right here. Sorry.
Okay.
Yep.
People pretty much saw that. I'm about 100% sure.
Yeah,
and there is some harmful things that I'd rather Katie not have to hear again.
No, but here's the thing. You know what I just did? You know what I just figured out what to do? I could figure out something on my computer. I can make my own spreadsheet so we won't have to do a GoFundMe for it. So we can do that. We can make our own spreadsheet, Crystal.
Oh, I wouldn't make a GoFundMe to make a spreadsheet anyway. I mean, I can do that with Microsoft Works.
I didn't use Microsoft Works. I actually have an actual program that was built into my computer that you can make your own spreadsheet.
Okay. I was
didn't
confused.
know that. No, the GoFundMe was just a jab at Seth Rogers.
Oh, okay. I was like, why are we gonna make a GoFundMe?
It was a jab at him. No, it was a jab at him. But no, I didn't know that there was an actual app on my computer where I can actually make spreadsheets. So I learned something new with this computer every day. So I've had it for 7 months, and I'm cool with that. So we make our own spreadsheet with all the panels that Seth and Chris and Katie have been on. I don't know if we have to, though. Why? Because we already know how many accounts he's been on. But if we do that, you know what we should add? Who's modded him in their chat and who's dropping his Cash App in their chat too.
I'm telling you,
Let that sink in, guys.
try me too hard and I will go over every live. Every single one of them. Do I want to do that? Not really.
No.
I'd really like to get back to code cases, but now don't think I won't. But now when somebody quotes something that I said, make sure you get it right.
That's
I
right.
did not say that was his way of controlling Katie. Nope. I said, and anybody that wants to can go back to Granny's Watchings Live. Somebody drop her channel and watch it. I said, because I was saying in chat, yeah, that said a lot to me. Well, a lot of people was taking it as I thought he was controlling. And some people was even saying, well, she wouldn't have been going out with the girls. I agree with that. If he was like obsessive controlling. But I also know what it's like for somebody to try to mess with your self-esteem. Well, Earth drop. Anyways, to mess with your self-esteem. And that's what I think it was about.
Sorry,
I think it was to mess with her self-esteem. Now, do I know that's what it was about? No. But that's what I gathered from it. Yeah, I've got that Cherokee girl. Thank you, Michelle. But yeah, I mean, that's what I was talking about. I didn't say that he was controlling her. And the better question is, you followed that up, Lolly, with, but she's controlling him. How? How? Give me examples. It's not. If you're watching from the bushes, come on up and tell me about it. Don't be shy about it. Come and tell me why you think that she's controlling him.
Yeah, but see, hold on, Crystal, though. How many times have we heard since this case that Chris is controlling of Katie? How many times? 11 million times?
Yeah.
Yeah. So why are y'all running with it still? Let it go. There's no controlling. Y'all can't prove it. Do y'all stop to think and wonder why Chris does the talking for Katie? No, you didn't. Has nothing to do with control. She's a grieving mother. Okay? That's what she is. She's a grieving mom. Chris, everybody knows that men have stronger emotions. They can hold them better than women. And that is true. But y'all don't see that. That's pretty sad.
Listen, I do pretty good at holding my emotions.
So do I.
If you want to talk about crap that somebody's been through, let me just give you a brief overview. And this might let you know why I stand the way I do with my channel. First of all, my name is Coldcasecrystal. You know why? Because my uncle was murdered in 1987, and our family still has not got answers. That's why I'm at Coldcasecrystal. I went through a lot of names, but that's the one that fits me. The one I started with. In 2005, I buried 2 kids. I know that pain. Worst day of my life. 2014, my mother passed away. 2015, my sister at age 40 passed away. 2016, my dad passed away. 2017, my best friend passed away. The one that was there for me to listen to that whole time. And let me tell you something. During each and every one of those tragedies, none of us grieved the same. None of us reacted the same. If anything, I did what Katie is probably doing with that little girl right now. I put on a smile when I wanted to cry. Because I tried to be strong for somebody else. That's what some of us do. Not everybody lays down and just does woe is me. Some of us put our big girl panties on and we get up and we move forward, because you don't get to your future looking in your past. There is no handbook on how somebody is supposed to act. There's no handbook on how you're supposed to grieve or what your reaction should be. Me and my husband went through the same thing. And we reacted differently. We grieved differently. Till this day, we still grieve differently. I can talk about it, but you won't get him to. Michelle says her dad died when she was 7 years old. I never saw my mom fall apart. I know she did, but she never let me see. Exactly. Exactly. I guess that's why this stream bothered me so bad. Is because if there's anything that I would never do, and I've said this since day one, I will not come on here and say today what I can't live with tomorrow. And knowing the pain of burying 2 of my kids, there's no way that I could drag a mom and there'd be absolutely no evidence she did anything to her child. None.
And it's so easy for people on this platform to take digs at Katie because she doesn't come on here and give you guys an explanation. Now, I'm going to say this until I'm blue in the face or until people get tired of me. And I'm going to tell you straight, I don't care if you get tired of me. I don't care if you tell me to shut up about it. I don't care. Because you know what? I can tell you guys to shut up too. Katie doesn't owe anybody on this platform an explanation. There's only 2 people that she owes an explanation to. That's law enforcement and the Lord above. That's it. We don't matter. We're not owed a thing from Katie. If Seth wants to gallivant around here opening his mouth, well, that's on him. And when he says that law enforcement doesn't tell him anything, well, ask him why. Ask him why they won't tell him anything. It's because he is deemed untrustworthy by them. Because there are things that the police will tell you, please do not say this, do not go on, panels and say that. Well, say if that's what the law enforcement told Seth not to do. Do you think he's following those rules? I don't think he is. And that's my opinion. I don't think he's following those rules. I think he's doing exactly the opposite of what law enforcement's telling him. He's saying what law enforcement has told him, and he's bringing it up here for everybody to hear. And he's telling the wrong people. He's telling people that don't care about his child. And they don't care if he comes home. They only care about the almighty buck that they're making off that kid's name. That is it. And the sooner that people realize that's all it is, well, I guess.
Look at the description of this video. Nowhere will you find Sebastian's name tagged. Nowhere. Not one of my mods has been dropping a Cash App. They know better. That's not why I do this. Sebastian's name is not in my title because this wasn't a stream focusing on the information, the factual information that's put out there. This was a stream focusing on misinformation. I'd rather not put a missing child's name in my title or tag if what I'm doing is talking about another creator. I won't do that. I think we can all do better. But now let me tell you something. If you're going out and you're spreading rumors and lies, you're part of the problem. It don't take too much effort to be a good human being. You actually have to work at being a crappy one.
And you know what? Ask Summer in the chat. She'll tell you I don't put any children in my title. I may hashtag them. That's it. But that's not in my title. And if I did put them in my title, she'll make sure I change that title and I take their name out of it. Because that goes against everything that I have ever stood for. Now, I'm leery about showing... Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, I was welcoming her.
Yeah, I'm very leery. I'm leery about showing children on my channel. I'm leery about showing Sebastian's photo, his missing poster. But I do it. Why? Because people are watching my streams. And it's because I'm talking about him. Don't get it twisted. I'm not true crime. I'm not. I'm strictly drama community. I go after the people that are exploiting missing and deceased babies and victims. I'm all for victims. That is it. I will call them out. And that's all I do. But I'll make sure that these people, they know who they should be standing for. I remind them who they should be standing for. And that is Sebastian. So yeah, I will show his poster on my streams. Other than that, I've got no problem sharing missing flyers. I will put them in my Discord. I will share them on my Twitter. I will share them on my community wall. I mean, you got to do what's right. But putting babies' names, victims' names. That's just wrong. I'm sorry, that's just me. That's just my opinion. I can't do it. I don't know why other people will.
I will do this. Right here
Look at him.
is Sebastian Ross.
Look at that smile.
Now, Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers is a 15-year-old autistic Caucasian male who was reported missing February the 26th, 2024, from the Stafford Court area of Hendersonville, Sumner County, Tennessee. Sebastian is 5'5". He weighs 113 pounds at his last checkup. He has sandy brown hair, brown eyes, and may be wearing glasses. Sebastian was last seen on February the 25th, 2024 at 9 p.m. when his mom saw him go to bed. He was wearing a long sleeve shirt with a picture on the front, black track pants with a white stripe down the side, and has no shoes on. If you have any information, please call TBI at 1-800-TBI-FINE. He deserves better. We don't get him home by putting out garbage. We do not get him home by putting out false accusations toward his parents. You get him home by sharing his flyer. Now, the lovely Duchess made this flyer, but on TBI's website, you can find some and print them off. Put them in your area, because this kid deserves better than what YouTube is giving him. Sebastian, if by any chance you watch this live stream, I hope you don't. I really do. I hope this isn't one that you catch. But if you do, don't listen to what people are saying online. Your parents love you. They miss you and they want you home. That's all they're concerned with. Getting you home. Get to a phone, dial 911, tell them who you are and that you are a missing child. This is what is important. He is important. Correct, Michelle. Stop saying you are Sebastian's friend if you are trashing his mom. He doesn't want to be your friend. I'd say not.
Yeah, and word to the wise, quit saying that you're Sebastian's family. You're not his family. He's got family. And none of y'all are it. Okay? That's just weirdo status. And you really don't want me to start calling y'all weirdos when you say that. You really don't. I've already pissed off enough people calling them weirdos because of that same thing. Oh, Sebastian's our family. We just want him home. How well did it work out for you guys when I started calling y'all weirdos in your chat? You added me to your block list. Keep up. I'll start calling you guys by name on my panel, and I'll start calling you guys weirdos. He's not your family. Again, he's got family. You're not it. I'm done. Because I'm tired of people saying that he's their family, and Sebastian is not their family. His real family's waiting for him to come home.
Okay. Well, I've said what I wanted to say. I'm sure it won't go over good with a lot of people, but if
But
you
Crystal,
mention me in the live stream, note to the wise, I'm probably going to address it.
and Lolly, leave Crystal alone. Leave her alone, okay? Stop. Stop with your misinformation and start doing your own research. Look, I really don't want to call you out, but I will if I need to. I don't like you. Hell, I don't even know you, but I don't like you anyway because of what you've said in the past. But just leave Crystal alone. Don't talk about her unless you got proof. You might want to learn how to share screen and prop up what Crystal's been saying. Other than that, the proof, it's not what's coming out of your mouth. That's not proof. If you're going to try to react to people, um, word to the wise, start showing receipts, honey. I guarantee you it'll be better for your benefit to show receipts. Because at the end of the day, you will be embarrassed for it.
Everybody, I do appreciate each and every one of you for being here. If you don't care, hit that thumbs up. Let's get factual information out there. And for anybody that may be watching on replay or watching in the bushes, before you go dragging these parents, ask yourself, would I want to be done that way? Because Katie is going through the worst thing she could possibly ever face. Almost. What if she's innocent? Is I'm sorry supposed to erase these thousands of live streams people's done dragging her? I personally would rather somebody smack me. That sting will go away. But words last, you all. Words matter. I have said that from day one. Duchess, Michelle, they know me probably better than anybody in the chat. They'll tell you. I probably say that every day. Words matter. And if you're talking to me, you can guarantee I pay attention to every word. So when I'm watching these live streams, you can bet your bottom dollar I am hanging on every word. Is there a lot of things that hasn't been mentioned that I've actually caught? Yeah. Yeah, there is. That's why you don't want me to go back and go over every single stream. Trust me, you don't want me to do that. But before you say things, ask yourself, would I want that said about me? Think of the hardest thing you've ever went through in your life. And then imagine that people were coming at you the way they are these parents. How would you take that? Don't say it if it isn't true. Don't accuse people without facts. That is not helping Sebastian. Like I said, I'd like to get back to code cases. They deserve attention. That's what I like to cover. But with this garbage going on, how can you not call it out? That's right, Kim. We should be standing in the gap. Should be praying for these people, not out here dragging them. And I said that I'm going to say this. Like it, lump it, I don't care at this point. The Lord don't have to borrow from the devil for nothing. So have somebody read your cards all day long. But that's not of God. I love y'all.
But
It takes zero effort to be a great human being. What was it, Eric?
But please, guys, do all of us a favor. Stick to the facts of the case. If there's no new information, move on and do something else until there is new information. But stop making up lies and stories. Stop. Enough is enough already.
A revival. But again, thank you all for being here. If you don't care, hit that like button.
I hit the thumbs down.
That works too. Either way. But it takes zero effort to be a good human being, you all. You got to really try to be a crappy one. Love yous. Talk to you later. Well.